This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show, and we're here at the BookMarc in beautiful West Hollywood, California for the private signing of the new Johnny Ramone autobiography, Commando. And I'm here with Stan Lee of the Dickies and his beautiful girlfriend, Jessica Nesmith.
Hi, how are you?
Why do you think it's important that this book was made?
I haven't read it yet, so I couldn't tell you. But it looks like it's going to be a good, quick read.
And that's what Steve Jones of the Sex Pistols said. He says it's an easy read, and that's good for punk rockers, correct?
He's already read it then. Or did he just say that to look good for the interview?
He might.
I don't know. I'll have to ask him. I got his phone number.
You got his phone number?
I do.
Phone number? They're going to go on a motorcycle ride. I just know it.
Now, Jessica, tell me, are you excited to read the Johnny Ramone book?
I am actually. I'll probably mooch his copy and check it out. I saw some good pictures from my first glance. Looks really good.
Apparently, John Cafiero went through 3,000 photos that have never been seen of the Ramones to get the pictures for this book. What are your fondest memories of Johnny Ramone?
Touring with him was fun. He was a pretty serious guy. He ran a tight ship. He was real military about running the Ramones organization. And we were like kind of the opposite of that. So it was fun to be on the road with him. Like, they really stay here for 4 hours before they play? And it's just crazy. But, he'd time his sets. Conversations with him were odd. They're like, shave 3 minutes off the set. Something was wrong. There was 3 minutes different. I'm like, what do you mean? You timed this? He knew exactly what the 28 songs or however many it was, how long the show was. I found that odd, too.
Johnny Ramone was a commando.
He was a Republican. I found that odd, too, but I let him go on that.
Jessica, tell me, did you meet Johnny Ramone?
I never met any of the Ramones, but my first Ramones concert changed my life. And I think that maybe even the Ramones and the Dickies were playing together. So that was a big one. That was a big one for me. I mean, they were. I got to see them a bunch right around, probably right at the beginning of the 80s.
And what would punk rock be without the Ramones?
It might not have ever happened.
It'd be British.
I mean, there is a certain thing. Did it start in New York? Did it start in London? Where to start? My take on it is it started with the Ramones going to England. So that's my take. But I don't know. I'm like second generation, 77. So the 76ers were there first. So how the story was written, I'm not sure. But I think the Ramones were a good enough amount of time before the Sex Pistols, weren't they? Yeah. So anyway, there were different kinds of, stuff Ramones wrote about wasn't the stuff that the English guys were writing about.
But we got to see Engelbert Humperdinck sing.
We saw Engelbert Humperdinck the other night. We went.
We're like 3 feet from him and sitting at a piano in a person's home, and Engelbert Humperdinck and Neil Sedaka playing. It was a big moment.
Have you ever seen Tom Jones?
I have seen Tom Jones in Vegas.
I have not.
But this was at the Davy Jones Memorial.
Oh, okay.
And saw Engelbert.
I had to throw that in there. It was a big moment for us.
Yeah, it was a big moment.
Since you brought that up, how did you feel about the passing of Davy Jones?
Well, I really feel for my dad. We're all of the Monkees kids are kind of like monkey cousins. We sort of look at each other, and Talia and Sarah, Davy's daughters, 2 of them were at my mom's memorial, and that was the last time I'd seen them. So it was really kind of tender and sad, to see them. But I know that my pop was looking at it sort of like, the end of his youth. It's an end of an era, and Mickey took it really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see my dad talking to the guys again.
Well, Davy Jones will always be remembered. He was awesome. What is up with the Dickies?
What are we doing? We're sitting on some tracks with, Steve Jobs blew up the music business, so I'm not sure how to put them out. I'm not going to stuff envelopes, so I'm still trying to figure out just to give it to iTunes or how you do it. But got some tracks sitting around. We're just firing up the engine, doing some shows. The band is finally lifted on Disney, so we're playing the Anaheim House of Blues in May 20th. So we've been on a band from that since we fucked with the mouse.
Stuka's over Disneyland?
Would have been the culprit, yeah. So for over 20 years, we were not allowed anywhere near Anaheim, but for some reason, they said yes. We've turned down gigs there not turned down, we've said yes, and then somebody realized when it...
Like they will after they see this interview.
Yes, when it passed somebody's desk, it was like, no, they know they're not allowed to play here.
What do you remember about the Killer Clowns period of the Dickies?
I was there for it. I don't know. I just emailed Ed Kyoto to see what he's up to. He's got some Disney projects. So since the ban's been lifted, I'm trying to get in on something with that. But yeah, those days were great. You know.
That's a great album.
I remember my roommate's 6-year-old kid comes up to me once and he says, Jessica, do you have any movies with clowns that are a little bit dangerous? I said, I think I got you covered. I think I got just what you need.
People, that is a very frightening movie in a lot of ways. I mean, it's funny, but it's also very frightening. Yeah. So you were the perfect band to do the soundtrack.
Yeah, I just walked into their office playing that riff, and it was like we had the deal immediately. So,
have you thought about doing soundtrack music, more soundtrack music?
You know what? You'd think after that the floodgates would open, but
Kick-Ass.
Yeah, we got the song in Kick-Ass. That was cool. Thanks for the assist.
Sure.
Yeah.
Jessica in with the assist.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kick-Ass was a great movie, and that song was like a marriage of song and screen moment. Was not a more perfect choice for the movie. So
Kick-Ass, kicked ass. Blairing Out with Eric Blair with Stan Lee of the Dickies and Jessica Nesmith signing off.
The Blairing Out Show.